Hi there, I'm DeDe. Welcome to this 30-minute flexibility and balance session. We'll be doing some seated marching and marching variation moves, which will help us develop better strength, muscular endurance, and balance. Here's what you'll need. A sturdy armless chair, some water for hydration that you put off to the side. Make sure it's not under your chair for this. Some athletic shoes, plenty of space around you. And remember to only do the moves at the pace and the range of motion that you feel is appropriate for you, and substitute one of my variations, one of my modifications, or one of your own, if you'd rather. All right, so we'll be seated, away from the back of the chair as usual. Bring your legs to an even and straight position in line with your hip joints. The whole time we're doing this, we're going to remain upright and neutral. That means not rounded and not overly arched, okay? And we won't be using the back of the chair to do that unless you're a very, very, very beginner to this, and then you can put a little cushion behind you. Otherwise, use the power of your postural muscles to hold you up. All right, let's take the arms down, turn the palms forward. Inhale, draw your arms way back, and then exhale, bring them forward. Again. So marching is a great form of exercise. It's pretty easy to do. We'll do some variations so it doesn't get too tedious. It's a great way to get from one place to another, although you might draw some attention. It's a good way to exercise when you're seated because it requires some strength, some endurance, some balance, but it's still challenging, even though we're sitting. Now let's do a few more at chest height. So inhale and exhale. All right, hands on your lap. Inhale, turn your chest to the right as you exhale. And then switch. So we're just turning the spine along its axis. So in other words, it's not changing shape really, it's just turning. Now you're turning to the right this time. I want you to straighten out your left arm past your knee, and then vice versa. Your legs are steady, they won't wiggle, they won't wobble. Now take your feet a little bit wider. Inhale, exhale, tilt to one side. And when I say tilt, I mean we're bending. It's called lateral flexion. So one side of your waist shortens while the other side lengthens. Feel that happening. Stabilize with your hands on your legs. Now as we're leaning to one side, let's take the opposite arm out as kind of a counterbalance. Turn your thumb up, keep your shoulder down. Make sure your feet are apart so they can support you. Remember, we're keeping the hips down, both of them. Even though we're leaning away from one hip, it's staying down. One more. Now back to the twist, so we'll start here. Inhale, look over your shoulder, exhale, one hand goes back, one hand goes across. Switch. You still got those sturdy legs, right? Now the side bend. So this time your left arm goes up, right hand on your leg. Switch. So the hand is on the leg to offer some support for our torso muscles. 2 more. Now we hip hinge. So inhale to the center, shoulders down, long straight spine, exhale forward. Again. Now we're still supporting with our hands on our legs, but let's slide the hands a little bit forward. Slide them back, slide them forward. How far forward you go is totally up to you, but keep your back from rounding. Keep your shoulders from elevating. All right, now the hands stay on the legs. This time we twist, turn your chest to one side, and then to the other side. Let's come to the center, bring the feet back in. We tap the toes right and left, tap right, tap left. Slide your hands forward so they're right past your knees. And then we'll lift the fingers up on the side where we're lifting the toes up. Four more. 3. That's 2. And the last one now, both heels up and down, up and down. So we're going to use all of these parts of our bodies when we get to the marching. So we're slowly, methodically warming them up. Let's alternate. It's a little faster now. Right, left, right, left. Now, as your heel comes up, your opposite arm goes forward. Unless you're planning to hold on to the chair, which is fine. I offer you that option every single move. You can hold the chair. But otherwise, you're here with one or maybe both arms. So this is our first official march right here. This is a Tiptoes March or a heel lifting march. 8, 7, 4, 3. Now hands on your legs, both heels up. They go up and down. Resist by pushing down with your hands. And if it doesn't feel good to do it with your palms, you can do it with your fists. You can do it with the backs of your hands, whatever feels okay. Now let's alternate that heel lift with resistance, right and left. And right, we're still resisting without elevating the shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out. Now let's stop. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and again. Two more. Make sure you go up and back, but then you go down at the end of the move. One more. All right, hands on your legs. Inhale. Exhale, hip hinge forward. Oh, that feels good. Get a little stretch, a little release through the back. We'll be doing this periodically in between some of our marching combinations. One more. Now let's go to our first actual march. Right and left foot. Right, left, with your opposite arm. So this is pretty slow, but it's good to check out the biomechanics. As your foot lifts, your opposite arm comes forward as a counterbalance, and your torso rocks a little bit from side to side with your back straight. Let's go faster. Right, left. Now when we're going faster, you can make it smaller. It makes sense to do it that way. march, 2, 3, and tap. So 1, 2, 3, tap one foot, 1, 2, 3, tap the other. So we're working on muscular endurance, balance, confidence. We'll work on some flexibility toward the end, so we're going to get it all. For the most part, when you're picking up your feet like this, I want you to keep your foot flexed, but then when you tap your toe, you have to point your toe, right? Now, instead of pointing the toe and tapping the toe, let's tap the heel right there. And you can even bring it a little further forward. So the things we do in the chair that can get us stronger for doing things out of the chair, this is one of them. Strengthening some of these muscles in this way lends itself to being a better walker and hiker. And we can do that from the chair. Now, instead of pumping the arms, how about if we bring both arms forward? If you're not holding on to the chair, this is a nice option. How about if we tap out to the side next time? 1, 2, 3, out to the side, out to the side. So you can feel how this plays with our balance a little bit, right? Shifting out to the side with the arms going forward. It takes a lot of stabilization through our middle. Now lose the arms, just have your hands on your legs or hold the chair. Because now we're going to start to reach out with our opposite arm. Now this is one arm reaching out. You can be holding on with the other hand, or not. You can bring both arms. You can turn your head, you can turn your torso a little bit. Keep it sensible and appropriate for you. Stretching our comfort zone so it's a little bigger. One more. Now we come back to the center. Inhale, shoulders down. Exhale, hinge forward. So maybe you didn't notice while we were doing it, but do you notice now that some of the muscles in your torso are getting fatigued from all that stabilization? Maybe you noticed that. Now let's resist with the hands, tiptoes, both feet, tiptoes. Two more. Now let's go back to the march, right and left. Right, left, right, left. Now we can march out wider. Can we try that? So that's a little different. Forces are a little different through our torso. At no time are you going to collapse back like this. And if you feel like you need to, it's time for you to take a little break. That's all that means, is that you're running out of endurance. We'll take a break together, but if you need to take a break independently, make sure you do it. Now we tap for 3 and step in. 2, 3, step in. 1, 2, 3, step in. How do you feel? Do you need to hold on? more. All right, keep your feet out wide. Inhale, exhale forward with a little rotation, neutral spine. Other side. Now we'll come forward in the center and we'll hold there. All right, let's step the feet back in. Now we'll march from here, right, left, right, left. Now we'll march for 3 and lift the knee up. 1, 2, 3, lift your knee. Lift your knee. Now, we'll touch the knee as it comes up. Touch. Touch. Keep sitting up. All right, if you're good with that, let's add 2 different arms. So 1, 2, 1, 2. A little bit of brain fitness here. Now, how about just the knee lifts? Just the knee lifts. 1 and 2. Can you bring your arms up a little higher? How about with your thumbs up? 8, 7. And stop. Inhale. This time we come forward, we exhale, we stay here. Keep breathing. Rest your forearms or your hands on your thighs. Just giving our back and our other core muscles a chance to relax and recuperate. And then we'll take our hands on our legs and we'll sit all the way up. All right, so we'll march from the right foot. Now we'll march for 3 and tap behind. So 1, 2, 3, tap back. 1, 2, 3, tap back. This is the main reason why I didn't want you to put your water bottle under your chair. Hi, Prissy. Uh-oh, I don't want to march on you, Prissy. What are you doing? Now just the tap back, okay? Tap back, tap back. And can we scoop the arms back when we do this? If you're not holding on, scoop, scoop. Last 8, 7. All right, and we stop. So let's come to a more narrow stance, and then we'll come forward. We'll slide the hands a little bit forward this time. If you can rest your rib cage on your legs, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, it's forearms or hands on your legs. We're still keeping the back straight and long and neutral with the shoulders away from the ears. All right, take your hands on your legs if they're not already there, and then we're going to sit up. Roll your shoulders. Now here's the segment where I give you the option to stand up and go behind your chair. No obligation to do that. Stay seated if you want to. I'm going to demonstrate the standing up, but then I'm going to come back to seated. So something for everyone. So once you know that you're not lightheaded, then you'll stand up carefully, walk around to the back of the chair if you're choosing to do the standing version, and you'll hold the chair with both hands. Now we'll march. Right foot, right, left, right, left. So you're doing this seated or you're doing it standing with me. So now we'll get into a pattern. We'll march for 3 and tap out to the side. 1, 2, 3, tap out. 1, 2, 3, tap out. Doing it seated or doing it standing. And then we'll take our arm up and over on the same side as the reaching out side. So if you're standing behind the chair and you don't want to let go with both hands, you don't have to. You can hold on with both hands. If you're seated, it looks like this. If you're standing, you can stay standing as long as you're comfortable. Now we'll march for 3 and tap out for 3. 1, 2, 3, that's 3, 2, and march. 1, 2, 3, and 3 here. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 3 here. And march. 1, 2, 3. How are you doing? If you're standing, make sure that you're feeling safe. Don't move the arms if it doesn't feel good for you. Last one. All right, and then stop. If you're standing, come and join us over here, turning, and now we're all seated this way, facing to the right. Now we're going to stretch out some of the muscles that have been working so hard. So you're right at the front edge of your chair, and you'll take one leg slightly back like this. So this is our 90 degrees with both of our knees, lunge position. And then we'll tuck the pelvis forward and back. Oh, that feels so nice, doesn't it? Stretch out some of the muscles that were just working so hard to help us march. All right, now slide your back foot further back. Push your heel back. Pull your front ribs in. Drop the hip that's closest to me down. Just make sure you're holding on. All right, and then watch. Slide your back foot in so the shoelaces are facing more toward the ground. So then you're going to feel the stretch through the front of your ankle and the top of your foot. And if you don't feel it, try just a little bit more pressure down through your toes on this foot. All right, and then release. Both feet are flat. Let's slowly turn around to the other side. Holding on, 90 degrees, upright torso, rock your pelvis. And then move into your lunge. Drop your hip closest to me down. Front ribs pull in and you're upright. Can you feel the stretch all down the front of your leg, into your thigh, up into your hip? Maybe you feel it through your low back and your calf as well. Now let's stretch across the top of our foot so your shoelaces point toward the floor here. Hold on. It doesn't matter how much plantar flexion or pointing you get through your foot and ankle. It doesn't matter as long as you're feeling the stretch. and then both feet are flat. Then we're turning around to face forward. Let's slide to the front of our chair, moving the feet forward also. And then we'll straighten one leg out, doesn't matter which one. Back is tall. And then lean forward a little bit. Or if you can lean forward further and still keep your spine tall and straight, do that. And then take your hands on your thighs, come on up. Trade your bent leg for your straight leg, and then come on forward. Pull your toes back on your stretching side as far as you can. Feel free to keep a bend in your straighter leg. Keep more of a bend there if that feels better. And then we'll take our hands on our legs and we'll help ourselves up. Now, while we're forward, let's place both feet flat. Make sure they're out in front of you a little bit. And then take your hands behind. You're grabbing onto the chair this way, sliding the hands up as high as you can. Now, pull your chin back, pull your shoulders back, and then lean into it, leading with your chest. Now, if you can go up higher on the back of the chair, do that. Just keep your alignment and keep breathing. All right, and then we're hinging up. Scoot back in your chair a little bit. Now we cross right ankle over left ankle, or right ankle over left knee. And we're right here. Figure 4 stretch. Lift up through the top of your head, and then if you need to feel more, you can lean into it. So hands on your leg, elbows on your leg, whatever feels comfortable for you that doesn't make you collapse and round your back. Now, whichever leg configuration you have, keep it. Sit up as straight and tall as you can and look over your shoulder. All right, and then we'll face forward. And we'll switch ankle to ankle or ankle over knee. Let's come forward. Such a wonderful stretch for the hip. It's very intense, but I don't mind the intensity. How do you feel about it? Now we're keeping our leg configuration. We're just sitting back up. If you were leaning forward, now you're upright and then twisting, looking over the shoulder, staying here. And then we're coming back to the center. Take both feet down. Let's do an ankle circle here. Your toes stay on the floor, more or less. And then the other way with that same foot. And then circle the other side. and reverse. And then both feet are flat. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. One more time. All right, so how do you feel? You feel like you got plenty of miles of marching in? You feel like you marched your way into better strength, endurance, and stability, as well as balance? You feel like you stretched out some of the working muscles toward the end? I hope so. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, stay well.